Open up to the book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 15 and verse 7. So Saul defeated the Amalekites from Havilah as you go to Shur, which is east of Egypt. And he captured Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and all that was good, and were not willing to destroy them utterly, but everything despised and worthless, that they destroyed. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel, saying, I regret I have made Saul king, for he has turned back from following me and has not carried out my commands. Samuel rose early in the morning to meet Saul, and it was told Samuel, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set up a monument to himself. Then he turned and proceeded on down to Gilgal. Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed are you of the Lord. I have carried out the command of the Lord. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the oxen that I hear? Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but the rest we've utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said to Saul, Wait and let me tell you what the Lord told me last night. And he said to him, Speak. Samuel said, Is it not true, though you were little in your own eyes, you were made the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Lord anointed you king over Israel? The Lord sent you on a mission and said, Go, utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are destroyed. Why then did you not obey the voice of the Lord, but rushed upon the spoil and did what was evil in the sight of the Lord? But Samuel, verse 26, said to Saul, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of God, and the Lord has rejected you this day from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned to go, Saul seized the edge of his robe and tore it. So Samuel said to him, The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and he has given it to your neighbor who is better than you. Then Samuel said, Bring me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Agag came to him cheerfully. Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past. But Samuel said, As your sword has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag to pieces before the Lord at Gilgal. Heavy. The situation here is that Saul is told to conquer and destroy the Amalekites. What he does instead is he destroys what he doesn't want of their riches and their cattle and all that. And he saves the best things for himself, really. And he disobeys, and he does not go against King Agag. When Samuel finds out, Samuel then does it. But then he says, You, Saul, will no longer be king over Israel. Now it seems hard, but there's a bigger picture going on here. See, often we think differently from the way God thinks, and we think, God, you're not being right here. But God is right. Turn to Exodus 17. I want to show you a picture here. Exodus 17 and verse 8. Then, this is Moses, the Israelites, they've come out of Egypt, and this is their first war. Then Amalek came and fought against Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, Choose men for us, go out, fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will station myself on the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand. And Joshua did as Moses told him and fought against Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. So it came out when Moses held his hand up, the Israelites prevailed. But when he let his hand down, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were tired. So they took a stone, they put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side, one on the other. Thus his hands were steady until the sunset. So Joshua overwhelmed Amalek with his people with the edge of the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, Write this in a book as a memorial and recite it to Joshua. I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and named it, The Lord is my banner. And he said, The Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war against Amalek from generation to generation. This is the first army to attack Israel in all its history. Amalek. And from Amalek comes the Amalekites. From the Amalekites comes King Agag. And so in the book of Samuel, what Saul is fighting against are the Amalekites, the descendants of these people who warred against Moses and tried to destroy the Israelites. And their king was named Agag. So Saul, it's amazing. It fulfilled what God said through Moses, that I will have war against Amalek and I will blot out his name. Saul spared the king of Amalek because he was corrupt. He wanted the treasures and he wanted maybe the influence of the king. Why is that bad? Because God told him to destroy. God knows better. God knows the larger picture, even when we don't agree. It was right after Saul did that Samuel went to Bethlehem and he anointed a shepherd boy named David. And the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul and came upon David. And Saul deteriorated. He was already going downhill. He turned against David. He tried to kill David. He even once tried to kill his own son, Jonathan. He went downhill until he consulted a medium of Endor, as you saw, until his death. So this crucial thing, this run-in with Agag and Amalek, is a crucial thing. It's a bigger picture. What does this have to do with Purim? Turn to the book of Esther, chapter 3. Esther, chapter 3. Let me just read the first part. After these events, verse 1, King Ahasuerus promoted Haman. Let me just stop there. We know Haman as this villain. But Haman had a secret, at least to most believers. After these events, look at it closely, King Ahasuerus promoted Haman, the sons of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him over all the princes who were with him. Haman was a descendant of Agag. Even though Samuel, in the end, killed King Agag, where Saul had spared him, apparently Saul had let other sons go. The seed of that, from that seed came Haman. God knows what he's doing. He knows the end from the beginning. He said, destroy. Saul almost did, but he was careless. Years later, from one of them comes Haman. Haman's elevation. Haman is elevated. If you look at that in Esther 3, of course, you just saw it demonstrated. Verse 2, and all the king's servants who were at the king's gate bowed down and paid homage to Haman, for so the king had commanded concerning him. But Mordecai neither bowed down nor paid him homage. Then the king's servants who were at the king's gate said to Mordecai, why are you transgressing the king's command? It was when they spoke to him daily. He would not listen to them. They told Haman to see whether Mordecai's reason would stand. He told them he was a Jew. When Haman saw that Mordecai neither bowed down nor paid homage to him, Haman was filled with rage. He disdained to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they told him who the people of Mordecai were. Therefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews, the people of Mordecai who were throughout the whole kingdom. And so Haman comes up with a plot to exterminate all the Jews. All the Jews. One little detail Saul skipped. And now, years later, one of them is now going to wipe out the entire population of the Jews. All because Saul compromised and one got away. It ends up planning genocide. Isn't that amazing? One little disobedience.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA.